A murderous assassin, a murderous ex-soldier, a murderous ex-SHIELD agent, a murderous Russian asset, and Bob walk into a vault. In Marvel Studios' 36th film, some of its brightest, most compelling, and most perplexing supporting characters come together, assemble to fight their most dangerous foe yet, clinical depression. After a string of critically underwhelming entries, some of the creatives behind your favorite TV shows like BoJack Horseman, Beef, and The Bear teamed up with the crafty people behind some of our most unique films to produce Marvel Studios' most emotionally focused and mature film. They may not be super, they may not be heroes, but they are human. And in the end, that's why we keep coming back to these stories. Welcome to Popcorn for Dinner's MCU 12. Kicking off our year-long list at number 12 is Jake Schreier's Thunderbolts.
I feel like Banky deserves a round of applause. I kind of like that was.
I was
immense.
going to clap, but I was like,
What?
is that childish? But that's good. That's good, Banky.
It's never childish to clap for me. I like the.
No, I don't like
for
glazing
2
niggas.
seconds.
That's why. Yeah.
But like, I like it for 2 seconds, and then my self-hatred comes in. I'm like, oh, too much. Ebuka and Steve are here, of course, and joining us for this inaugural MCU 12 episode. It's bad boy TMT himself.
Wow.
TMT, how are you doing? Is it?
Oh my god, that was sick.
At least 3 or 4 of those characters have powers.
Yeah, it depends on if you count super soldiers. Look, I was going with the logline. The logline said they are not super and they're not heroes. So like,
Because super soldiers in the comics are like different from the movies. In the comics, they're like the heights of human potential. So they're just like CrossFit people. But in the movies,
they can jump.
They hold helicopters and prevent them from
they
flying.
do hold helicopters up, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
2025 entry into the MCU 36th film. At the time of recording, time you guys listen to this, is the penultimate movie in the MCU. TMT, I asked you for your top 5 MCU films before I did this list, and this movie was on your list. I was quite surprised, pleasantly surprised. Why do you love this movie?
So, people like to break the MCU up into like, you have Cosmic, which is basically Guardians and Eternals and stuff like that. Then you have Magic, which is basically Doctor Strange and maybe Blade, if that ever gets made. And then you have Politics, which is Captain America and all these
Some of the Iron Man.
And yeah, exactly, Iron Man to a degree. And all these different genres in the MCU, they have different color gradings.
That's true.
Yeah.
The political ones have this sort of HBO lights, grayish color tone, and then the Magic one have this hyper real like whatever.
A lot of red. In the Magic
exactly.
One.
And then the sciencey ones have like they have deep, rich, vibrant, whatever. This film has everything. When it starts off, it has the political thing where Yelena is like, in some country, and there's like clips of Valentina. And then next thing they're in New Mexico, and it has that Breaking Bad sepia tone, and you're like, what the hell is happening here? And then when they're in the vaults, it gets very rich for some reason. It's like really, I think they had 3 different cinematographers on this film, and they each hated each other. So when it was everyone's turn to shoot, they would just do their own thing and throw the last person's scripts away. And that's my favorite thing about the film. Tonally, it bounces. It's not inconsistent because it does come back. Like, it bounces, and because it has this very grounded political energy in a way. It's very fun to see a character like Sentry on that. In that, it works it works oddly well, even his ridiculous costume. So it's like kind of how like Thor is in between the magic and the cosmic MCU stuff. This is in between like the political and low-key like magic-y, cosmic-y stuff. It has a lot going for it, you know. So yeah, it's fun to see that. It also has some of the sciencey sci-fi stuff with like Ghost and the super soldiers and all of that running there. So there's a lot going. It has a lot going on for it. I'm glad there's no magician character because they would look so out of place in this particular film. They would say we would have to get the Stone of Adamora, and Bucky would look at them
I feel
and
like that's
say,
not the
"What?"
word, but okay.
Bucky would say, "What?" And John Walker, is his name Walker? Walker would say, "Shut the fuck up! Literally, I'll kill you. Stop talking like that."
Walker should swear, right? Like Walker feels like the kind of the MCU character that should swear.
Yeah.
Like
Walker is the Steve. He's Steve. What's his name from Steve Harrington, the guy from Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Where he's just like a bully in season 1, and then towards the end he kind of warms.
I have thoughts about Walker. I have Marvel know how to rehab a character. I have thoughts about Walker. Ebuka.
Yes.
I mean, so obviously a bit of like behind the scenes, when we're kind of crafting this list, we all came with our individual top 20 and then like our individual top 15, and we kind of created a tour from that. And like the three of us all kind of had Thunderbolts in and around the same area. We're all quite aligned on our thoughts on this film. Because why do you love this film?
I think this film surprised me, right? And rewatching it was good because it allowed me to think about the film independently, like away from a few of the bad movies that we've had. I thought this film was maybe, just the best of a bad bunch. But rewatching it, it's a story that I wouldn't say a lot of people love, but I personally love a lot, where you have a bunch of misfits come together, right? And rag on each other, but grow to love each other, and then defeat something bigger than them, then find something within themselves that some would say they've been looking for their whole lives, right? And it's just a really touching story in that aspect. It's weird because I feel like should I say many? It hasn't happened a lot, right? But it's happened twice, and it's weird that it's happened twice. Like two of my favorite MCU movies are movies that have this same theme, and they might be the two only MCU films that do that, right?
Is it Guardians and this?
Guardians and this, and I think people love when heroes find a way to work together and then grow together. Because even the first Avengers movie, I feel like subconsciously that is part of why people loved it and why the next few ones may be not as well received. But yeah, man, those found family movies are always a hit.
Yeah, Steve, I saw you nodding.
No, because it makes sense, right? What he said earlier about people just want to belong and they want that sense of a found family. And this film, I would even say it does it a little bit better. I'm not saying it's a better film, but it does it better than The Guardians, because The Guardians, at least there's like some shared purposes amongst both of them. These guys all have different, like historically, they have different motives or different things that make them tick. Some of them were trained as children or from birth, literally, to be these deadly assassins, and while some of them just signed up for some science experiment to get out of their shitty parents' home in, America or Russia or whatever. And they find something in each other, in each of them, that like ties them together and makes them work together to achieve, the goal at hand or in front of them. So that's the part I agreed with.
That thing they found was depression or general malaise. I don't know. I can't remember when during this movie I was like, oh, this movie is doing that. Like this movie is going there. And in terms of like, this is just what I was at some point like, oh, this is what the movie is going to be about. Like the movie is about this. It was not just like a coincidental thing that all these characters kind of are having this thing. And I think let's talk on that, because like I'm not saying this is not the most insightful or artful kind of interrogation of depression, right? But I always remind myself that these kind of films are not necessarily like, they are made for the lowest common denominator, in the sense that like we want a 15-year-old child who is watching this to kind of like quote unquote understand depression, understand what they may be feeling. as opposed to like it's not necessarily made for the high-minded person who has gone through therapy. So I do think so. In that, when I look at it, like, I appreciate the kind of like the more basic explanations and the more basic like depictions of things. I was like, it's kind of like when people were saying, "Oh, Barbie is like grade 1 feminism." I was like, yeah, that's the point. It's meant to be grade 1 feminism because it's meant to kind of bring in the young people. It's not meant for you who has read books about feminism and like done like so. So I was like, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not just young people. It's just like people who, because I don't think people realize how easy it is to live a very mainstream life where like
very sheltered life.
Everything you consume is Billboard Top 100 or Netflix or just like whatever is most convenient.
Yeah,
so
2 movies a year.
So when you see like you know, feelings like this being interrogated in a movie of this scale, it kind of, you know, you can then see that and be like, oh, that's that feeling I've been having, or my coworker told me they were having, or my sister or cousin or brother reached out to me. You know, it's and you know, you kind of realize, okay, you know, things like, and I hate to say this word, but community, things like community really help. Because these guys all hate themselves, but just from the start of the film, they all want to be better. Like they all want to do the right thing. And it's like they all want to be useful. That's what they all have in common. Every single character. And I think that's like kind of where a lot of these feelings come from, feeling like they have no impact in the world. So like just from Elena, you know, reaching out to Valentina saying I want to do more, to Bucky trying to be a senator because he wants to do more and he doesn't think he should be punching bad guys at his old age, which is fair. And Red Guardian just wanting literally any job. He starts off as a limo driver, and at the end, he's a brand ambassador. He has 3 jobs in the whole of that film. It's you have John Walker again. He just wants to be able to show up for his family, and they show the moments where he's not showing up for his family, or he feels like he's not, but he's with his family. And because he feels like he's not showing up for his family, he's unable to even show up in that moment and just be a dad. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what they all have in common. They all just want to be useful people, and they feel like they're not doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that this movie doesn't necessarily have all of the thrills that you're looking for in a superhero film, right? And I think it sacrifices a lot of those thrills to have a good story. And like I am very okay with that sacrifice because I do think like, yeah, you might not have this big giant fight scene that like, or like, oh wow, the big money shot. But I was like, yeah, you invested in telling a good story that was quite emotional and quite touching, and it brought out these characters that some of them I didn't even care about before, and now I'm like, oh yeah, actually, I do get it. And just a quick note on the creatives, like this is directed by Jake Schreier. His last thing before doing this was directing Beef. Joanna Carlo, he brought on, also co-wrote Beef. He had the creator of Beef help with some rewrites as well. Joanna Carlo, I mentioned the shows that Joanna Carlo and some of the other people have worked on in the intro. Like she's the co-showrunner, co-director, co-writer of The Bear. She worked on BoJack Horseman. So you kind of see that thread of like middle-aged depression kind of going through everything from BoJack and The Bear and Beef.
There's a depression that's very specific to people who have been told all their lives that they were special. And I think that's the one that hits most of the main characters in this film.
Has interest.
That's actually very good. That's very good.
Yes, because now I'm connecting that with like BoJack and Kami, and
Bucky,
it's like
Elena, Red Guardian, all of them.
Yeah, and just
John Walker.
And John Walker was quite literally told that he was special. He was given a drug to prove that he was special, that he's special.
America's #1 boy.
Even Sentry says at a point that there are times where he feels like he can take on the whole world. And there are times where he just wants... Yeah, exactly.
There's no point.
There's no point. Yeah, so it's like... And I guess it's also graded on a scale. So you have people who are like deep in that depression, like Elena, and then you have people who it's full on like, and all depression is mental illness, but you have people where it's more like full on episodes and stuff like Bob, who we can maybe put at an end of a scale or spectrum. You have Yelena, who is like in more deep, like sort of chronic depression, and then you have everyone in between. You have people who have sort of learned to make peace with it, like Red Guardian, and then you have people like Bucky who are like post that. You know, he's been through his stuff and he's just trying to like. He's not. I don't think he really feels those feelings anymore. I think he's more like, okay, what do I do next? I think he sort of interrogated that in Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff like that.
Even someone like Ghost. I'm trying to, like I said, because I went back to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp to try and get a good grasp of her backstory, and I don't know if that depression. She was definitely depressed in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I don't know if like that depression has carried over into this film. It looks like that she's like kind of gone through.
She seems
but it's
more angry.
Probably, yeah. I mean, she's angry that like I think again, like your point, she was looking for a way to be useful. Yeah. So she signed up with Valentina, and now Valentina is obviously cleaning house. So now she's angry at Valentina trying to kill her and everything. But yeah, your point about it being kind of on a scale is very correct.
And there's also like just finally on this whole thing, and there's also a point in depression where you just simply die, and I think that's represented by Taskmaster. So, like, I think they really nailed it.
I wonder how long it took us. I wanted to see how long it took us to mention Taskmaster.
No, that was a death, and I think there's very few deaths in Marvel that have actually made me gasp, and not gasp as in emotional, but gasp as in what the fuck just happened. And
so
point blank shots to the head. Definitely.
I guess you're not on Twitter. I guess you're not on Twitter as much, or your algorithm is not as cooked as mine. Everybody can. It's not their fault. I think storytelling wise it was okay, but like promotion and marketing kind of like, oh yeah, this goes. Taskmaster is not in this film. Like guys, like stop photoshopping her into scenes that she's clearly not in. Kind of thing. Everybody kind of saw it coming. But yeah, it is like I think storytelling wise it is quite well done because it comes from nowhere, and yeah, maybe. Yeah. I wonder how they could have rehabbed that.
I thought it was a good decision. Just
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think Taskmaster doesn't fit the rest of them. Unfortunately, I feel like it might have been a tough balancing act to include.
Also,
her.
too many Russians.
Yeah,
like,
fair.
At that point, half of the team is
Red
Russian.
Scare.
At that point, half of the team is Russian. At that point, I was just like, are we the new Avengers or the Russian Avengers? I don't know.
What is this? Alaska? Well, these Ruskies here, my team.
Steve, at what point in this movie did the emotions start coming out for you?
Oh, very early on, man. Very early on. When we get Bob wake up and he's all confused and all of that, bro, I'm a sucker for that stuff. So earlier on when you were saying, I didn't want to interrupt, but when you were saying how grade 1 depression, I feel like that applies if you've, like you said, you've attended therapy or you've done the work or you understand, for anyone that hasn't done that work or for anyone that hasn't like processed their emotions very well, because this film came out when I recently moved here and that was during the heat of everything and all. And so like, I felt like Bob himself, especially before he becomes Sentry, before he becomes the Void, like he was just a mirror to so many people that didn't really know what it was that they were going through, right? Because later on, you realize, okay, Bob has his bipolar. Like that's a very, very cliche depiction of bipolar disorder. But like early on, you don't know that, right? Similar to someone that hasn't gone through the work and hasn't like, so you can say, yes, you're 15-year-old, that's the target audience, but it could also apply to someone that's in like a middle-aged man or woman that just hasn't gone through that work, and you easily see yourself reflected in Bob in that he just takes life as it is. Like, okay, one day I'm doing this and next day I'm doing this and some days I'm happy and some days I'm sad, but like, that's just like life, you know what I mean? And then he has that conversation with Yelena in the elevator shaft or whatever, and it's like, what do you do about it? And she's like, yeah, you push it down, you push it real deep down, and it's like, yep, that's good advice. And I think that applies to anyone, like irrespective of where you are in your journey. But yeah, so I would say early on for me.
Yeah, just to clarify, just in case it wasn't clear, like, do write films for 15-year-olds. Because I do think we can, like, also, like, I think I can get lessons from 15-year-olds, but at the same time, like, 15-year-olds, excuse me, works for everybody, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I want someone to go out of Superman taking the blessing to be kind or whatever. Just following Steve's thread, without, I guess, unspooling your therapy notes, does anyone want to kind of share which character they like empathize with the most? Empathize?
Damn, nigga.
Which character they see themselves in the most? I can go first if you
That's
if you
deep,
guys
that's
are feeling
deep, that's
considerate.
deep.
That is crazy.
On this podcast, we do both. We
Okay.
can go deep and we can also talk about random shit. So I mean, I think for me, it was Yelena. And we can easily talk about Florence Pugh in a second. But like, what's Yelena? I think there's that idea of like...
You saw
her
yourself
depression-
in Florence Pugh? Is that what you're trying to say?
See, we do both.
Hey,
We do both.
yo.
No, because he literally just said those words.
Yeah, I'm
He
not...
said it maybe was the Florence Pugh of it all. And I was like, okay.
I can neither deny nor confirm that statement.
Please deny it. Wow. Deny it.
But a denial might seem like
Deny it.
insulting. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Like, yeah, love her though. Love her. No, I think her kind of depression is... Again, I'm trying to see what I can say without getting my therapist in trouble.
Very functional.
Yes, that's the word. It's very functional. It's very like normal, for lack of a better word. In terms, like, a lot of people kind of probably have that kind of depression without either addressing it or labeling it. It's like depression that like you can live your life through, and like sometimes you feel sad, and maybe you're always looking as like, that goal will make me happier, or doing this will make me happier, or becoming a front-facing person will make me happier, kind of thing. And it's like, it's not a depression that necessarily stops you from living life. In the case of someone like Bob, it's depression that you're like, maybe
It stops you from being content,
being happy. Yeah, it's like, maybe I'm just bored. You tell yourself, maybe I'm just bored. Maybe I'm just like this. And so there's a lot in her to kind of be seen. You're like, oh, that's kind of normal. And then again, you tell yourself, you just push it down. Like, you push it real down until like you can't really see anything. But smart people know, and unfortunately not everybody is smart in this kind of area, because even people that know, we don't know is when we're in that moment, or like, no matter how much you push it down, it will always come back up at some point. We can advise somebody that, but we never have that advice for our own selves. So no, I do think like Yelena was the one person. And I think it was such a smart choice to have her be the lead character of this film. Like I don't know if they had other like options, but I think having Yelena, apart from that, Florence Pugh is just an incredible actress, charismatic and everything. I think having Yelena be the lead of this film just really, really worked for me. And I was like, yeah, this is everything she was saying. Like, I won't talk about my best scene later, but like, yeah, it was just like, this is word for word kind of like what I would write in my journal if I still had the guts to journal.
We
Does
see
anyone else have anything to say? Yeah.
We see a lot of asking British actors to do American accents and American actors to do British accents, but we don't talk enough about either British or American actor doing the Eastern European accent.
European.
That's block.
I am not in a position to say if it's good or bad. I'll just take it that it was good.
I think it's wonderful. As someone who knows many Russian political exiles, I think that that accent was well executed, some would say.
Why do you know many Russian political exiles?
I mean, I've watched the news.
Oh, so not personally.
Yeah,
I thought you had it on your WhatsApp. I was like, what's going on?
I'm not David Hunde.
I was.
We're going to get arrested, man. Some of you all are going to get arrested, just so you know, okay?
He's a journalist. He's a journalist.
He has no power.
Back will kick his ass, right? Yeah, you.
Oh my god! No, that is so
we.
funny because I thought TMT was like, "Oh, he's a journalist. Of course, he speaks to Russian." But he was saying he's a journalist.
He has no power.
Banky, if he tries us, will beat his ass, right?
Stop saying we. Stop saying we.
Yeah, this thing. Banky and I will fuck David Hunde up Right? Banky and I together.
Okay, so
Don't kill me.
I won't force you guys to say which characters you kind of like resonated with in the film. But yeah, I think like not enough can be said about like the shows. This is like a
Sorry.
try to yes.
I just realized that like us saying what characters we resonate with is like profiling our depression for the world.
Yeah,
That's exactly
yeah,
what I'm
which
saying.
is why I said you guys don't have to do it. But like, you know what? I'm an open book, so I said let me be the one to jump on the grenade for this one. So
Okay.
don't feel I don't want you guys to profile your depression.
Can I be what's her name? What's the name of the assistant?
Mel.
No, I
Yeah,
don't-
sometimes you're in between forces, right? Like your heart versus the things you have to do, and you know, deep
I
down
don't
you know who
necess-
you are, so you try and just
I seem like a cop out, but okay. I don't know. I don't know if we've seen any bit of Mel's depression yet. But okay.
no. I just resonate with her position. You know,
Okay, yeah, that's
of
fine. Yeah.
having your hands tied.
Do you like being called a good girl?
Oh, I love it, man.
That makes sense.
Something about that phrase gets me going, bro. All jokes aside, though, that scene, I'm so sorry. I sat up when I first heard. I was like, "Are we going there? Like, what is this, Marvel? What are you doing to me? Are we going there?"
Why would you go
Rema
to a
was
Marvel
teacher.
movie?
Bro, exactly. Literally. I was like, Auntie, why are you doing this to me?
Steve has
No.
quickly regretted his decision to do this
We're in
podcast
episode
with us.
1 and we're already talking about calling guys good girl, bro. What are we doing here, man?
I don't know. It just
Anyway.
seems like are you kink shaming?
I'm
Is that what you guys do on the
have you
cinema
heard?
aisle?
Have you heard? What's her name? Banky, help me with her name. You know the name of all these
God
people.
forbid. Are you insane? What do you mean back? You help me with that name?
Relax. I'm not a cop. I was asking about the actress's name. Oh my god.
Banky, help
Julia
him, and then after
Louis-Dreyfus?
we'll go and beat him between days.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
Steve, I don't care how conservative you are, man. If Julia Louis-Dreyfus says there's something she likes,
I'm so sorry. I am not. You can't just step past that. I am not conservative. There's no such thing. I don't care how conservative you are. Okay, let's just. We can't.
oh, so
I
you're
don't
not
care.
conservative.
I am
So you're
not,
freaky.
no. What
Talk
about?
about being pulled between two different forces. No. What was I going to say? No, I was going to say before we moved on this part. I was going to say that like it might be tried to say, but I do think it's very brave of the movie, of Marvel Studios to be like, we're going to talk about depression in this movie. Not brave in the sense of like, oh, you're doing something great, but brave in the sense of like, this could easily flop for your audience. Like this could be something. They could be like, no, we don't want this, right?
And they were trying too hard.
Yeah, box office wise didn't, but like it did flop, but like it looks like at least thematically it did connect with people. I want to do one thing and then we'll go into our categories later. Guys, we have categories. Hope you guys enjoy them. When do you think the Thunderbolts, or rather, when do you think they became Thunderbolts? When do you think John Walker became a member of the team? When do you think Yelena became a member of the team? When do you think Ghost became a member of the team? And when do you think the team became the Thunderbolts? I have answers for this, but I want to hear you guys' picks.
I think it was in the holding cell thing, like when they were driving back from New Mexico and
Mhm.
Bucky had like captured all of them. That was it for me, because that's when they see each other for the first time, right? Like Bucky's telling them, he's reading them their CIA fact sheets and telling them what
their
they
MCU history.
Yeah.
In case you didn't watch this movie or TV show, this is what happened.
So like at first, like I thought it was, what's the term? Would this be exposition? I thought it was just okay because like some of these people considered new, right? So they're just
Mhm.
reading them out for the audience to know. But then it also serves a purpose functionally because each of them is seeing each other and they're looking, like when Bucky says something, you see the looks that they give each other and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay. So I think they saw each other and they connected and they aligned on what their next purpose was going to be. So I like that. That's it for me.
I think I agree with Steve, and I think that scene is also a really important scene in terms of empathy, where like them seeing each other. Like they've only ever known someone like John Walker as this arrogant SOB, but you know he has his own struggles too. And same thing with Elena, right? Like not all of them had the full context of the other person in front of them. And sometimes I don't know. I'm still, as you grow up, things like empathy sometimes it can help, sometimes it can hurt, but sometimes seeing someone for real can allow you forgive them for certain things because you're just like, oh wow, you're really just a product of your environment.
Yeah, I don't want to derail the convo, but quick question on that because you
I
said
don't think you
Walker.
can.
Does the film talk about him doing what he did?
Yes.
Okay, I
They
watched it
did.
like 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember that being a big thing.
They
but
no,
okay.
it wasn't a big thing. They mentioned it.
Okay, because I'm like,
I mean,
don't
she
think...
said it. Ghost says it, right? She's like, did you
Yeah.
kill somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
An innocent protester. I think that's what she's.
And then
the
he
way
was
she
like,
puts it.
how do you define innocence?
Yeah.
Sam, do you have anything before I go on?
I think as a strong proponent of physical relationships, the team sort of came together when they did that Yansh mind melt. And they had to climb up. They had to climb up the cylinder together, connected
okay.
by
How would you call
their
it that? How would
bombs.
you describe it like that?
Yeah, there's something about
yes.
that. It's really intimate, it's really soft. Your butt cheeks working in tandem, clenched, but also releasing together at the same time. That rhythm, feeling that.
TMT just reminded me of something so fucking funny.
What's up?
An MCU film ended with a group hug. Like that was the defeat of the evil.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And apparently that was that was clearly the goal from the jump. We're like, this is how we're gonna. It's not going to be a big fight. We can't actually fight the void.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to essentially be a hug. I think if I had a nitpick, like I knew what they were doing and I saw it. I wish it was framed less. Like I wish the hug was more metaphorical.
Okay.
Because what they're actually doing is that they're pulling him away, right? But it's framed as a hug. But I feel like the pulling away doesn't actually come across in the scene. It just seems like they're actually just hugging.
Well,
so I wish we lean more into the pulling away and then we could infer the hugging later.
I think
if that makes sense.
With younger people, there's just like a lot more sort of like film to script savvy. So people will see like how when we were kids we'd be like, oh, who's stronger, Thor or Sentry? And now and then kids would argue for hours and they'd cite like random stuff that happened in random books or TV shows or whatever. And now if you ask any of us that, our answer is it depends on the writer.
Yeah. Also Stan Lee's answer, by the way. Yeah.
Exactly. I think with stuff like, Sentry and the Thunderbolts all fighting each other, again, like it depends on the writer. There's no it depends on the writer. That is 100% he wins. That's like
Yes.
we're not having this conversation.
There's no way to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the idea of it ending with a hug. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it just has to be a hug. Right? I'm sorry. It can't even be like a
tap on the shoulder.
The Sentry can look at them and be like, be careful.
Yeah. The fight has to end with the power of friendship. So for me, they became the Thunderbolts when they're like saving the people from the debris in the end. And on rewatch, I was like, I realized
did they become the Thunderbolts or the New Avengers?
Oh.
Good call. Good call.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because it's very akin to like 2012, right? It's saving random civilians in the Avengers. And I think I was watching that. I think I might be wrong, but I feel like in every scene, each of the Thunderbolts / New Avengers is saving one person or like one person and a baby. It's never like really like a group of people. It's like just save one person, right? Just save one person. Which is I can't remember what to quote Zack Snyder's Justice League, but like it's what Batman tells Flash, right? Just save one person.
I never like the old Avengers. I don't think I ever really saw them save people.
They did in the first Avengers. I think they did in Ultron as well.
Age of Ultron, they were saving niggas like crazy, man.
Was it saving or just fighting?
No, they were saving. They were saving.
No, they were saving.
Okay.
In Sokovia, they were saving.
I don't like that you said Age of Ultron 1. They had to do that because they were about to use it as a bomb, or it was going to be a bomb. So they had to do that. They were forced to do that. The first Avengers is the only one that counts. So yes, you're right.
Okay, I just get the Age of Ultron. You mean the Lagos thing, right?
No.
No,
Age of Ultron was at the
Sokovia.
end
In
when
Lagos,
Sokovia was
very
lifting.
clear did not save anybody. They killed people in Lagos.
They tried
No,
though.
it's Sokovia at the end. It's Sokovia at
Okay,
the
yeah,
end when Ultron
actually,
has his
Age of Ultron was them saving people. Lagos was
Yeah.
them saving people.
killing people. And that was Civil War.
No
Yeah.
spoilers, but it's actually funny as if that shit happened today, anyone around the world would give a fuck about the people that won
About-
that killed in Nigeria.
No, people would care. People would use it
Huh?
as because let me tell you what would happen.
They will use it as like a political tool.
Exactly.
Okay.
If the
Yeah.
Avengers were a real thing and they were operating on the scale they do around different countries, they would 100% be supported by conservatives. And liberals would be like, this is insane. Stop sending Americans to...
No, TFT, you've just opened like an entire podcast.
We can't go into
Like,
this because
an
we're entering
entire-
Civil War. We're entering Captain America Civil War territory, and we can't do that. But I agree with
Sorry,
you, TMT.
yeah.
Okay, guys, no more politics, because I feel like this is such an interesting discussion I'm going to go and think about now. Like,
Yeah.
who would support the Avengers?
No, if they're a government-backed institution, obviously the conservative, like obviously.
Were they government-backed before?
Well, that's the whole point of Civil War, isn't it? Anyway, let's not do this. Let's not do this because that's a whole different podcast that we'll probably get to some point. So I wanted to kind of highlight the periods where I thought like the kind of guys became members of the team, right? I think when Ghost comes back to get them, not the first time, but like in the car, because she could have gone off. I think her coming back to get them was kind of like first time she kind of joined the team. But there's a little bit that there are a couple of little bits that got me even on first watch, and I wanted to highlight them shortly after rewatching. When Bob sacrifices himself, Ghost tells Walker to drive off, but he hesitates. And I remember being struck by this in the cinema because like Walker has been bullying Bob for the first 30, 40 minutes of this film. He hesitates and then he looks to Yelena and waits for Yelena to give him the signal to go before he goes. And I felt like in that moment, one, he showed his empathy for Bob, but at the same time, he like showed acknowledgement that like Yelena was both the emotional core and the leader of this team. Like he doesn't just drive off; he waits until Yelena is like, "Let's go." And then that was one moment that like I was like, "Huh." There's barely dialogue in this scene, but from the directing and the performances, I'm like, I can kind of already see the dynamic changes. Another time is when they're going off in the desert and like he offers to like. Unfortunately, both of them are John Walker scenes because again, Marvel was rehabbing this boy. When he offers to like cut off the fruits, the cactus fruit, I think, and like she gives him this look where it's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you being nice? Why are you providing for us?" And it's just one of those things where like Yelena was again trying to assess him, and he was just doing this thing. He saw food. He saw his team members might be hungry, and he just offered it. It was just one of those things where like I could see the shift kind of changing. But also Walker was such an asshole to Bob at the start of this film.
Terrible.
I forgot
Man.
how much of a bully he was in the first 30s of this film. He was so mean.
Awful.
Um,
But it became, even if you didn't have the context of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was just very clear that he was projecting.
Yeah.
Like that was not about Bob. That was about him sort of being in a place of, But I think John Walker's version of depression is very particular. It's very high school jock, got injured before and lost his D1 scholarship to, a great university.
A black man.
Yeah,
Jesus
essentially. And he
Christ. Just so you know,
Honestly.
that's the worst thing that I've said on this podcast. I was like, out of everything that you think we've said, that's the worst
Wow.
one.
Wow.
It's funny because there's an actual black woman on that team as well. But like,
Oh yeah, Ghost. I keep forgetting she's black.
there's a lot of like, there's a very particular frustration that comes from someone that feels like they haven't lived up to their life potential, and he does that very well. Listen, I'm not a big fan of the nepo babies in film,
He's good.
but that
He's
boy
good.
is good. He's been
He's
good too.
He's good.
He's been.
good. I
he's
can't remember
been-
when first I saw him, but like I've always, yeah, he's good.
he also has the Denzel Son trajectory, which is professional sports for a while, then acting.
Oh yeah, he did do sports. Yeah,
Yeah,
hockey. Was it hockey?
Yeah, hockey. Yeah.
Hockey. Yeah, Wyatt Russell. Okay, so Steve, I saw your kind of like the gears in your brain turning. Is there anything you want to add before we go to categories?
Yeah, when you said Walker hesitated before moving on, I think it was also he had noticed the connection between Yelena and Bob. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
obviously, by then Bob had experienced a semblance of the void, and he remembered like when he does that, because Yelena had also seen that, right?
Yeah.
Yelena sees the look on Bob's face, and Bob's like, "What happened?" So I think obviously
On
by then
Walker's face?
on Walker's face, yeah.
On Walker's face, yeah.
And like she's just experienced that, because when Yelena paused, everyone was like, "Are you okay? What happened?" Da 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 da. And now the same thing's happened to Walker, and so I think there's also that element there that's happening when he's hesitating, because they know that there's something bigger going on here, and he knows that, okay, Yelena obviously likes Bob, she's protecting him, she's saving him. So I think I was also, that's why I saw in that scene, that's why I thought he hesitated. It's like, are you okay? You know, checking in, which is still good, which is still empathy and stuff like that. But I like yours better, I guess. Emotional.
No, I think everything. I think it's all
lead.
connected. I think it's all connected. Okay, let's go into categories. Because I have like a very basic one. We just have to do it. It's the best scene. We have best action and best non-action scene. I'll start. My best action scene is the vault scene, especially when they're all like using their powers, including Taskmaster. That was kind of like, especially the stuff with the knife. To be fair, what's your guys' best action scene?
Can I steal yours and say that was also my best action scene? But it's more like, because I remember taking a note down that, oh my God, the fight scenes in this film were fucking incredible.
Yeah, there are many, but like, I like the ones we got.
Actually, I don't know if this counts. Let's go for a little variety, right? So I'll give yours high commendations. Mine is when Bucky captures them on that road. You know, a little bit of Mad Max, a little bit of Terminator 2. I fuck with it. It knew how to speak to me. That scene was made for me.
See, now you took mine. You took mine
I'm
because
sorry.
like I don't know why Bucky hasn't been showing. I mean, I guess why he's a senator, he's a sitting senator. There's a limit. So like seeing
Congressman
that was very cool, and like the references that you've made, but even like a regular Your Fast and Furiouses, or like you said, Mad Max, like it had a little bit of that. So both of those would be my scenes.
Yeah. TMT was your best action scene?
Best action for me personally is definitely where they try to fight Sentry, and he's just like, there's something about the movement and the flow of the character that's kind of feels like a child with like an invisible child god is playing with an action figure, and it's just like smacking things around. It's really fun. Non-action is 100%. I think it's everything with JLD's character. Like the Fontaine is so like her performer. Is it De Fontaine? Maybe
De Fontaine,
yeah.
Her
because of the
she's really good. She's really good. And she's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch her sort of navigate this world that she's very good at navigating. And it was really fun to see the sort of, not to go back to that, but the sort of low-key, like Eastern European political exile. Maybe not Eastern, maybe like De Fontaine would have to be maybe like Spanish or Portuguese or Italian. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That sort of trauma that's kind of led her to a world where she will do anything to not be powerless.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was going to talk about that. I don't know how much the Fontaine backstory worked for me, but I thought it was interesting that they're like, look, everybody in this film has trauma and is depressed, but while Yelena and even Walker want to use that trauma and do good things, De Fontaine has taken that trauma the other way. Like you said, she doesn't want to be powerless. She, in her head now, it's bad guys and worse guys. So like, is everybody, we all kind of have the same trauma, not the same, but we all kind of have trauma. It depends on how you want to kind of use it. I like that idea.
I will give the MCU this as a franchise, though bloated and just like generally badly planned sometimes. They have gotten a long time ago. I think maybe the last it may have been Dark World Thor, but they've gone past, no, maybe even before that, but for a long time they're way past the whole era of I am bad because I'm evil. Every bad guy is sort of a good guy in to themselves.
There's some interesting ones that I think we might talk about soon. that are just
Yeah.
bad because they're bad.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to
Who's
get to those
bad
discussions.
for the sake of being bad? Let me
Well,
think.
I don't want to
There's
spoil
a
future
couple.
movies on our list, but like, yeah, there's some that are just bad.
I guess
I'll tell you
Mephisto
offline.
from Ironheart.
I mean, he's the devil.
was that a real
so
thing that happened?
Yeah.
What do you mean, bro?
He says
It
on
happened.
the podcast about the MCU.
Yeah.
My favorite non-action scene is Yelena and Alexei on the street.
Bro, why you guys keep taking my scenes, man?
No, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. I alluded to it at the start. I think it's kind of like it's really good. It's really good
Mhm.
acting. It's really good writing from them. Just a few lines I want to just kind of rattle off. Alexei says to Yelena, "You walked into the room. You made it brighter. You felt lots of joy." And she replies, "I don't remember that feeling." And again, not to self-diagnose or put that on the internet. It's like that idea that like you once felt joy and you're trying your best to get back to it, but you just really don't know how to. Like you don't know, you're trying the things that usually brought you that joy, but like it just all feels very hollow. And it's like when your ears pop after a flight, you're like, oh, I didn't realize that my ears were clogged until they popped. Like I didn't realize what joy feels like until I finally feel it again. I'm like, oh, that's actually what I've been missing. I really like that kind of thing from Yelena and Alexei. And Alexei says to her, "You're stuck, you're alone, and you look only at the bad. And but when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes." I'm just like, who doesn't want someone to say that to them?
Yeah.
Right.
There's some really heartstringy writing in this one.
Yeah.
It was,
From people that wrote
going crazy.
BoJack and the Bear, I think it's kind of like expected. Like, yeah. Steve, what do you talk about on the scene?
I feel like it felt so real, man. And I didn't get to say this earlier on, but the whole film just felt real to me. Like early on in the shaft, I think it's Yelena that's like complains how none of them can fly. Like I feel like from going from gods and aliens and multiverses to just like four niggas, four people in a shaft trying to get out of it, you know what I mean? Without overt superpowers. And so the film just felt real for me. But that interaction in the streets felt the most real because I felt like that could be anybody. That could be that I could say stuff like that where she's like, I'm so alone, I can't do anything, I don't have anything anymore. And that this is what she's saying to Alexei. Like, all I do is sit and look at my phone and think of all the terrible things that I've done. And then I go to work and then I drink. And then I come home to no one. And I think of all the terrible things that I've done again and again and again. And I'm like, that's like your average, 9-to-5er coming back from work on Thursday and just like cracking open the beer and just like scrolling through their phone, doom scrolling because they don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that interaction in the streets was just very like father-daughter-y, and also just like her recognizing her, depression, like coming to terms with it and like venting it out to her dad after the first father-daughter-y interaction that we had where both of them were kind of putting on a front. So that felt like, okay, stripping that away and just being real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on the other side of that, just going back into character work, it kind of shows how beautifully evolved what's his name has gotten, the Red Guardian, Alexei. Because he's like, every iteration of him in every film has sort of been this extremely hopeful, lovable loser. And now we finally see a payoff, and it's like, well done, dude. Good for you. You know, because it's really a thing where Alexei is this guy that's like, we want him to win. And he makes it very clear that, like, listen, I'm in this thing for the fame. I'm in this thing. I am not, doing this thing out of the goodness of my heart. I'm here for profit and self promotion. But you still love him because in between doing all of this, he's just very, very good to the people around him, his kids, his just anyone he interacts with. He's just very nice and personable, but he's very clear, like, I'm not a great guy.
I mean, is that too harsh? Because like he does say that he was his happiest when he was like serving Russia. And he's the one that keeps on pushing for like let's be a team, let's make the obviously, yes, he wants to be on the cause of the Wheaties box. But I also do think part of him, he wants to be Captain America.
Yeah, so he
'Cause
says
again,
that. Maybe that's what he
yeah.
says, right? Like he wants the fame and all that, but deep down, he's doing it for altruistic reasons.
Yeah,
Right. He's like a reverse Star-Lord or whatever.
yeah. Ebuka, what's your
Yeah.
favorite non-action scene?
It wasn't tough, but this one didn't feel big enough. But I like the scene we mentioned when Bucky captures all of them and they're talking.
And they're talking.
And that scene also has my favorite quotes from the movie.
What, Bob? What's the quote?
Let's segue into that. Favorite
Okay.
quotes then.
Yeah, what's your
It's
favorite
the one where
quote?
they say you just have to get up and keep going every day, man, and keep trying. And I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
true. It's hard,
real shit.
Yeah.
Steve, what's your favorite quote?
Sorry, that sounds like something Young Thug would say, actually. But my favorite quote is "I'm so alone," because it was like, bro, she was just reaching out for a hug, man. She just wanted like to be with someone, or she wanted someone. And not to take it back to Black Widow, but like, I feel like watching Yelena feels like watching a better version of a prequel of Nat, right? And
oh my God.
And it's sad to see it like that, but it feels like Nat is probably might be end stage Yelena, and that makes me sad. And so seeing, all of this like post Red Room, but the stuff that we didn't get to see before Nat became an Avenger, or before she wandered into Iron Man's house and became his assistant or whatever. I feel for Yelena and I feel for Nat again. But yeah, that's mine. I'm so alone.
I never really thought about that, but that's like really fucked me up. That like this is basically healing that we didn't get for Natasha that Yelena is getting.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Just on the Yelena Alexis scene quickly, and also tied to the earlier scene where Yelena dresses all of them down. I do love, as someone who's never lived in New York, I do love the idea that all the New Yorkers are just walking by. They're like, oh yeah, these people are just dressed in their costumes having a fight. Like, it's like nobody's even like taking a picture. Everyone's like, whatever. Speaking of New York, no, I think Steve, you're the one that has lived in America like for an extended period of time, and I think you like New York as a area to live. You love it. If you lived in this world, considering the fact that like property value would obviously drop a lot after like Avengers 2012 and Thunderbolts 2025, but at the same time you love
a couple Spider-Man films.
See, yes. But at the same time, you love New York. Would you stay in New York considering the value is less now, but the higher chances of like these things happening?
I think absolutely, man, because like at the end of the day, they're going to fix it up, right? That's one, too. Like they
but
always
you could
fix
be
it back.
part of the
But like, and two, like current day New York, we have people running around the streets dressed as Spider-Man. There's like a couple Spider-Mans. There's a couple of the Avengers. They have all of them running around just causing havoc. And that's literally what happens. Like you walk past them on the train and the subway and stuff like that. You just ignore them. Now, granted, they don't have superpowers, right? They're just lunatics playing dress up. But I think even in that world, like
that's no way to talk about our fans, Steve.
But I think
those are our fans? Okay, we accept our
fans. Even in that world, the New York thing would just be like, put your head down and go about your business, man. Like, mind what pays you, you know what I mean? And go about your daily, that resilience. And I think that would still happen even in a superhero world. So I think I'll still live there.
Okay.
Can't lie, man. I wouldn't.
I thought it was the other question.
You guys are thinking about superheroes, but like
the villains.
I swear the first season of Punisher was set in New York or something.
Hell's Kitchen. Was it Hell's Kitchen? It was in
Manhattan.
Yeah, it was in Manhattan.
Yeah. Accidentally tried to pick up weed on the wrong day.
Or you're walking through Harlem and a bullet ricochets off Luke Cage. You're like, what is going on? I thought it was a more difficult question because unlike Gotham, New York has some allure to it. I don't know why anybody lives in Gotham because like I don't know what the benefits is of living in Gotham.
Gotham has great architecture, in fairness.
Okay.
Wow.
Right, but I'd be like $100 a month because I don't understand why else. Okay. MCU peak. the idea of this is like, was this the character or actors or even anything's like highest point in the MCU? I'll kind of like start off and rattle off a few and we can all decide. And then from then, if anyone has anything else want to add. Let me start like this. Is there any of the Thunderbolts that you think this isn't their peak?
The character.
Which character? Any of the
No,
characters.
I'm saying a character. I think this is it for Ghost. I don't want to see. Honestly, she needs to just make like her name. I don't want to see her again forever till the end of
Wait,
the franchise.
That's
have
the
to
opposite of
explain.
peak.
You have
So
to
you're saying you
explain.
didn't like Ghost in this film?
I mean, she's cool, but like, I just nah, like just no. It's just
I
an
think you're alone on this. I think you're alone on this because
I'm not.
yeah. I have Ghost for a different category. Like, yeah. I think you're alone on this
Ooh, Banky,
this
I know
point.
I know that category. You kind of ready, but okay.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just like a big Ghost fan. Like she doesn't do enough for
Why
me.
do you hate black women, TMT?
I get that she's. I wish even
No,
with the
TMT, I'm saying
anger
to again, why do you hate black women? Stop
I
trying
know.
to run away
Okay.
from this track.
First of
Okay.
all, I was the one that reminded you Ghost was black, so don't even play that card. You thought she was.
Only
You thought she was
shoot
the
her
Ghost.
down
You thought she was
after.
Casper.
Yeah,
All ghosts are white.
you recognize her blackness when it suits you, but then you shoot her down when time comes.
Ooh,
I just think Ghost is in a very particular. Think about it like this. Think of the different kinds of depression. Ghost is in a very different place from everyone else because hers is rage filled. Her power, aren't her powers from her father experimenting on her or something like that?
And it was not on her. It was an experiment blew up, and then she was part of the collateral damage. It wasn't like
From her
experiment
dad.
experimenting on her. Yeah, from her dad.
It was her dad, right?
Yeah.
He was part of. He used to work at PIM Particles. Or he would
He
work.
used to work at Shield with Pim.
I Shield. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the kind, and it happened to her when she was a little girl, right?
Yeah, like 10 maybe or younger than.
Bro, her entire life, and like no one has ever really tried to help her. Like she is in such an interesting place in terms of like you can do a lot with the rage that this character has felt and the kind of life they've been forced to live since they were a child. And all we just show is a cranky ass lady.
No, but
okay.
Maybe this is because I just watched Ant-Man 2, but like a lot of that is in Ant-Man 2.
So
like this
that's what I
Ghost
wanted
is
to add.
evolved.
That's what I wanted to add. Like I do see some of what TMT is saying, a lot of what TMT is saying actually. But I think watching it the first time and rewatching it again, I felt like Ghost Ava was misplaced. Like I felt like she didn't really, really belong with the rest of them, mostly because she has a different backstory, right? And I never felt like she was depressed. I felt like she was angry and she has rage. But if we think about it, she's still dealing with grief, right? I think that's a lot of her. Because her dad, and like that's the only person, like you said, no one else had really tried to help her. That's the only person that she had that tried to, look out for her and fix all of this.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have that anymore. And she's just running around with anger. So I don't know that I wouldn't say that this isn't her peak. I just think like, it's a bit misplaced. And if we never see her again, that might be because, her arc has ended.
Well,
but not because
we
like
know
she
we're going to
wasn't
see her
good.
again.
She wasn't good in this.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what to say.
I think the actor played her well. I think Ghost, her character's issue has always been like a writing one. I think I want to see her like just be personable for like. I mean, she has moments in this.
Personable. She
has moments in this where she's charismatic. I can't lie, but like just a little more. Why do I want to like? I want to care about a Ghost miniseries. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
and right now I don't really care.
I would say this because this was not the category we're on. After watching Ant-Man was for the first time, even after rewatching just now, like I'm like, I don't really care about seeing more ghost stories because like now I was like, yeah. But I think now that they've kind of made her a bit more personable, like this movie doesn't really delve into her own emotions as much as it does like John Walker or Yelena or even Red Guardian or Bucky. But I think now they've placed her in a position that if a future, there won't be Thunderbolts too, but if a future movie wanted to be more introspective on Ghost as a character, I'll be open to that because now we're in a better position to kind of like I do think they've made her a good character. Now we can make her a deep character. Like I don't think she was necessarily fun to, or like again, good performance in Ant-Man 2, but I was like, okay, whatever.
I want to say something.
Yeah. Have you changed your mind about saying
If
it?
that character was male, the writers would have done. They would have given her more cooler. They would have given her cooler material.
Fair enough.
But so MCU peak. So I think, let me just go with me. I think this is probably the peak for all the Thunderbolts, except maybe Bucky. I don't know if I think this is Bucky's peak.
No, Bucky has a lot to do.
No, okay, wait. So let me be clear. So when we say peak, it's not as if it's not for the future. It's so far what is like the highest point in their MCU career so far. Not that like they're not like diminishing returns from here on.
I think everyone except Bucky best.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are going to hear me say this often, but I don't really care for Bucky. I think this is the first film that I have cared for Bucky in. TMT's face right now.
Yeah, no, TMT, I like your reaction.
Me.
I'm not going to react because I've heard this before and it's saved for later discussions. But like,
yeah,
TMT, I like your reaction.
As someone that doesn't really care for that character and that arm and that whole backstory, add those words, Longin, Rusted, 70, all of that, you know, I think this is the first time that I was watching. Like I said, my favorite scene was, non-action was the talk, but I liked when he interrogated them. I liked the action scene when he captured them and all of that. This was the first time, crazy because it took 35 films to get here, that I felt like, I actually like this person as a character. I actually want something
Can you roll your
to
eye
happen
again for
to this
me?
person as a person.
Ebuka and I cannot.
I don't like this. Wait, hold on.
I think, yeah, TMT, you go ahead because we have our takes saved for later episode. But TMT, you go ahead.
We don't have to do this. We
have
to do this. We have to keep going.
I'm not going to silence my guest. I don't know what kind of host you are, but I'm not going to silence my guest. Go ahead.
How dare you? How dare you? First of all, to say that let me tell you why Bucky's so fascinating. Bucky, and even though Bucky is genuinely like, he's a character that was built to be a villain. Like, he is aesthetically and his personality, he's like, Bucky is a bad person. Like, he's just meant to be a bad guy, but he's just somehow a good guy, mostly because of Steve and his upbringing. He's such a cool character. That's number one. Number two, the MCU doesn't have a Wolverine. Like, it doesn't have a brooding sort of dark.
What are you about to say?
It doesn't have a brooding like.
Okay, calm down, Steve. What's this face? Like, Steve.
Oh my God, I've never seen Steve like this. Oh my God.
And that's Bucky. Bucky is the one. Bucky is the resident.
Oh my God.
Bucky is the resident. No, it's true. Who's the guy in the entire franchise besides Bucky?
Oh my God. Bucky.
Bucky's more brooding.
He's the brooder of the MCU.
Oh my God.
Bucky is the kid in high school.
Iron Man. Sorry, the Hulk. I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
The Hulk is not brooding.
They let a white
Hulk
man,
is not brooding.
fucking Winter Soldier with he just has a metal arm. Compare.
I mean, he's also a super soldier.
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. It's
obviously the Hulk. If there's anyone that's going to be something close to that, it's obviously the Hulk. Who wants to die? Who has tried to die numerous times, right? Who lives with this constant anger and rage and this brooding, and they just have to put on the face just to be part of the team. Maybe that's Hulk.
That's Eric Bana's Hulk, not this Hulk. This Hulk, what's the name of the guy who played him in the first one?
Mark Ruffalo.
No.
From the Ed Norton iteration to the Mark Ruffalo iteration, the Hulk is just clearly like this. This guy is doing yoga in the first film. He's post brooding. He's now, I've done therapy, I've moved on. I can give you some advice here and there, but I'm not constantly like longing. They tried to backtrack. They backtracked a little bit with they backtracked his character trajectory with what's it called, the first Avengers film.
Okay,
but in the first Hulk film, this man is clearly like well adjusted. Yeah, he knows I think he knows like jujitsu or some shit, some Krav Maga, weirdo martial arts, and he's running around, but he's chill. That is a chill man. And then, they brewed him up a little bit in the first Avengers film. But listen, by Planet Hulk, what's that? Thor? Is it Thor? Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. That man is a clown. What are we
Planet
talking
Hulk.
about here? The Hulk is not a real.
Okay,
he's
we
not-
don't have
That's
time to
cold.
spend.
That's his way of dealing with the blip. But I
oh.
want to just go back to what you said about the first Hulk. I'm so sorry. I know we're dwelling, but
Yeah.
the Incredible Hulk, what the Avengers does for the Bruce Banner character is essentially retcon everything that's happened, right? So for the purpose of the MCU going forward, we're supposed to take Ruffalo's Bruce Banner as our foundation of Bruce Banner in the MCU,
Oh,
right?
I don't
And-
do that.
Okay, but I think most people and the MCU themselves, I think they do that, right? And if you have a character say something like, I take a gun, pop a bullet in my mouth, the other guy spits it out. I don't think there's any line that has been uttered in the MCU that comes closer to something that Wolverine would say than that very line. I think that's it. I think that's
Listen,
him
I
right there.
I judge the works of the Lord by the sights.
Does Wolverine want to
I
kill
behold.
himself?
God,
Yes,
mercy.
that's clearly a suicide.
No. Does Wolverine want to kill himself?
He
Not
doesn't want to kill himself, but he's tired of he's done this for so long, and he's not suicidal, I guess, overtly, but he's not exactly thrilled to be living.
So like,
yeah,
Bucky,
which is 100%
who's
Bucky.
like
Bucky's
100 years old.
Been here, done that.
I just showed you why.
Anyways. Okay.
Yes,
Can we just?
I have my points for when Steve starts yarning.
Yeah, we'll
crap
get there.
about-
But I just feel like every guest just giving Steve his lashes up to the point that it's our turn to talk. Okay, just because we have categories to go through. Actors. Is Wyatt Russell better here or in the TV show? Let's go through this quickly.
Ooh, tough one. I think TV show because he's leading, so it's like I'm kind of biased towards that.
Is
He
he
does
leading?
more there.
He's like the third lead in that show at best.
Fair.
I
Okay.
think it's second, but yeah.
I would
He's
say
not ahead
second,
of-
but
What do you mean second? What you guys say? Like there are two people in the title of the show.
Oh,
They
my
are the
bad,
title
my bad,
characters.
Fair enough.
My
I forget
bad,
about
my
one
bad.
particular person.
Same.
Color shall be unnamed, but I forget about him all the time.
The show is named after him. Anyways, so do you guys think here on the TV show, where's Wyatt, as an actor, where's Wyatt Russell better? Not
By
the
TV, you mean
character.
Falcon.
Yeah.
I
And-
think it's better here. I think in Falcon they played him as part of a duo, and they kind of look like dummies most of the time.
They did, yeah.
But here he gets he's more independent in a sense, which is funny because
Yeah.
he's in a group. But here,
I mean, I don't know if it's a benefit. I don't think it's a benefit because I already like Wyatt Russell's performance. It made me, I was already kind of like bought into what he was selling. But I think maybe here he has less to do here. But I think as in terms of just share screen time, because obviously a TV show is basically almost 6 hours. But I think I do like what he's doing here. I think he's funny here. I think he's still a dick. But I think there's a lot more emotional stuff that he's going through. But he's quite good in the show. Okay, so I have some other peaks that we can just run off quickly. Is this the
Yeah.
peak of super soldiers in the MCU? Your
No.
other peak would be
No.
Captain America 1, which has Captain America and Red Skull,
It's the Winter Soldier.
100%
I know,
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Is this the peak of white men going to Asia and getting powers?
Jesus Christ.
No,
Yes.
that's Iron Fist.
I didn't even consider Iron Fist. My other pick was Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's
Um,
Doctor Strange.
Is this the peak of depression in the MCU?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Tony
the
is
peak
the
of-
closest, right?
Yeah, and Iron Man 2 probably. Is this the peak of HBO stars in supporting roles? In this movie, we have 3. We have just Julia Louis-Dreyfus, we have Wendell Pierce, and we have Chris Barr, who plays Holt here. Well, you might name as Frank Sobotka, or he was also in The Juice. So
Yes.
this is the peak. I want to talk about this quickly. Casting replacements. I think this is the peak. Not recasting like the Hulk or War Machine.
Mhm.
But in case you don't know, Steven Yeun was meant to play Sentry,
Mhm.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Ayo Edebiri was meant to play Mel. But then
I think both of those could have worked. I don't have
I think they
I
could
don't
have
think
worked,
Yeon would have worked. I don't think Yeon
so
would have worked.
I
I
think,
think it's just the hair color. But aside from
no,
that,
not
I
even
think
that. Okay, so here's my take. I think both of they fell out because of like the strikes, the delays, and everything. I think both replacements were better. I'll start with Mel. I think Ayo Edebiri is too big and too funny to have been that male character. I think to have
Okay.
put too much attention to herself. But Steven Yeun is the important one. I haven't felt bad. He's a great actor. I haven't felt bad for Steven Yeun in a very long time. I
Why
think
is that?
Post The Walking Dead, he's kind of transitioned into being more of a dick. or like a hard ass. So think Minari, think Beef, think Mickey 17.
Fair enough.
He's like in The Walking Dead. He's Glenn. Everybody was like, you feel sad for Glenn. So, but I felt like I think he could have done it, yes, but I think Lewis Pullman here it's easier for me to feel sorry for Bob. I can't remember last time I felt sorry for Steven Yeun character.
Fair. I'm hearing that.
So I think he could have I think his void would have been. Invincible was my closest option, but obviously that's a voice acting performance, and so that was my closest option. In maybe that's why I felt sorry for him, but yeah, in terms of live action, I haven't really felt sorry for him in a very long time. I think he would have knocked out the void.
Even when he's a dick in Beef, he's still very sympathetic. Looking.
I agree.
But I feel sorry for Bob. I don't think I ever felt sorry for him. I think he was relatable in Beef. I don't necessarily know if he was simple. He was a bad person at points in Beef. I don't know if yeah. So those are my two picks. I think this might be the best the peak of casting replacement. So I really do think what we ended up with was better. And I think Lewis Pullman needed this. I've been a fan of his for a while. I'm glad he got this kind of big role. My last HBO peak, is this the peak of, sorry, not HBO, MCU peak. Is this the peak of meth in the MCU?
Of what?
Meth?
Of meth. The drug, meth. I don't think there's any other instance of meth in the MCU. So by default, it has to be the peak.
When you say meth, do you mean it's okay?
No, meth. The drug, meth.
Crystal
that Bob was taking.
Oh, no, the pick of meth in the MCU is definitely going to be the new Wonder Man TV show.
I'm never going to touch that. I'm okay. Just, no. Because you're about to be anti-black and I don't like it.
Whoa. Wonder Man is black? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't see color, honestly. I just thought...
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, so our final... sorry. We have quite a bit to go. Do you think this movie is underappreciated, overappreciated, or appreciated just right? For me, it's just right.
No, I think it should have been a box office success.
Yeah, that's the only
agree. I agree. I think it should have been a box office success, and I also think it might be a tad bit, a tiny bit underappreciated, because TMT said, oh, this is top 5, and you said you were surprised by that. I don't think if someone came to me and told me this was a top 5 MCU, I would be surprised. People, the general public being surprised by that might hint at that. And I also have it, we're not going to do that for the course of this. We're going to be a unified front on our top 12.
Sure.
So I'm not going to say who had things where, but I think, some people may have expected this to be a bit higher. So I think it's just a tiny bit underappreciated.
So the last, one of our last categories is run through a wall. So basically, this is a character that you didn't really care about before this movie. And then now you're quote unquote, you run through a wall for them. You really care about them. You want to see more stories about them. I've kind of listed it, but my picks are Ghost and Walker, actually.
Go on.
Quite a bit of crazy picks there, but you need to explain.
Why don't you explain? Like I said, I think this is Walker's peak, and I also think this is actor's peak. I thought he was good in the show, but I wouldn't have minded if we never saw him again. Now I'm actually quite intrigued to see him again. I think what they did with this character was actually quite fun.
For me, it's just what is he doing? What purpose is he serving the world?
He's just going to be a member of the Avengers. Let's remember how these things work.
Honestly,
in your solo film, maybe we get to introspect you a little bit more. In the group film, you're just a name on the board fighting a villain. There's not going to be big, emotional introspection in Doomsday. So yeah, maybe in a future solo film, maybe.
I was warming up to Ghost, and then at the end when they show them at the new Avengers mansion, he's wearing this beret, the French hat.
Walker, yeah.
And I was so upset. I was very angry. And I was just
I can't wait.
I guess that's his comics accurate thing, I guess.
Girl, I guess.
And to be fair, Yelena mocked his helmet in the movie, so maybe that was why he stopped wearing the helmet.
Yeah. I mean, I hated that. I think I would run through a wall for Yelena now. And especially because I didn't really care for her before. Like the
Really?
clingy younger sister things, just never been an
Did you watch
archetype.
Hawkeye?
What?
Did you watch Hawkeye, the TV show?
Yeah. She was cool there, I can't lie. But like still wasn't inspired. But here I'm like, cause even with her scenes, they look, she really like one, you get how she's charismatic enough to be a leader, but also you can focus on her like being a flawed character and being a bit of a brat, but also she's like physically very gifted, but also she's like tiny. She's like 5'2", I think. Like she just looks like a munchkin. They should put her in your bag and take her. But you know she got chaos at the same time. There's a lot. I like to. I would watch a solid mini series or like season 1 of a show around her. I don't know about season 2, but season 1 I'll watch it.
Steve?
I think Florence, obviously, in almost every film that she's in, she makes her way into my Letterboxd review. So I'm a big fan of her. Same thing with
These
Hawkeye.
are across all films.
Across everything.
That's fair.
Oppenheimer, Hawkeye, Little Women. She's like
Dune?
almost always one of my first two. Exactly, Dune, Princess Irulan. So I think it's cheating to even say it's her. And I don't know how we haven't talked about the stunt at the beginning, the very first stunt, and how it's practical, right? I think everyone knows that. So like she fought for that to be in it and all of that. And she's not a movie star like some of the other names that we call movie stars, but she has star power like she kind of does. She does bring some people to the cinema. So I think she was great. But in terms of for this particular film, I think Bob and Dreyfus, and I know Julia might be an unpopular pick, but I just want to let you guys know, get ready for that. Like through the course of this, I'm probably going to like a lot of the villains, and I'm going to be running through the wall for a lot of the bad guys here because like sometimes you're just good, and I think Julia is good. So, and Bob, I've already explained why too many times. Relatability 100%. So, yeah.
I like Bob.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is like, lots of this cast, I was already in the, like, Julia, my love for Julia is well documented. Florence, I think she's always excellent. So, like, yeah, it would have to be really bad for me not to like them. Because anyone that you can run through a wall for.
I have run through a wall for Yelena because I really didn't care about her before. She was an internet darling, but I didn't care for her character at all before this movie. But I definitely want to see more of her and more of Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker not quite run through a wall, but I'm very interested in seeing what he does next.
Well, also his name is
Bob. I can do without. Like if this is the last time we see Bob in the MCU, I'm cool.
Well, his name is Johnny Walker.
His name is John.
Yes,
but Ebuka called him Johnny, so let's just go. Okay, so our final category is film specific superlatives. This is like any other kind of awards that we have for the film specifically. I'll start because I have a couple. My first is the Playtest Award for Is This Really Happening? This is a reference to the Black Mirror episode. One of my favorite Black Mirror episodes, actually, Playtest, which has Wyatt Russell and Hannah John Kamen in it, which is where I first saw both of them. And obviously they reprise their roles here as John Walker and Ghost. So they work together in Playtest. I really like Playtest. I haven't rewatched it in a while. The Chloe Zhao Award for reminding Kevin Feige how good it's shot on location. This movie looks beautiful. It's like some points where it's just like, oh my god, like the desert, all of that stuff just really looks so good. And I remember like Kevin Feige being in awe when Chloe Zhao was shooting Eternals on location. I really hope they kind of take that into some of the future films. Speaking of that end credit scene, even before I knew the Russos directed again, I love the Russos, but like when in the cinema, I'm like, this feels different. This looks different, like from the rest of the movie that we've just watched. So I hope we don't take that into account for Doomsday, but like, yeah, I was like, this looks very clearly different. My final superlative is the entire film happened in one day excuse to have the characters in their costumes for the entire film. So the characters are in the costume for like, I think the entire film in this movie, because the movie literally happens in like 24 hours. So yeah, those are my superlatives. Steve, do you have a superlative?
Yeah, superlatives can be negative, right? I think it can be best or worst. Okay.
Yeah.
I think shittest worst team performance or performance by a superhero team. I think generally there's a good shout that they're the weakest team, but definitely in the shaft, I think that was
Oh,
Um,
I thought you were gonna go against Bob, like them fighting Bob.
against Bob, exactly.
Yeah.
That was not what I was thinking about, but against Bob, that's a colossal failure from them. Then just generally,
What about the
yeah,
Avengers
worse.
versus Thanos in Infinity War?
They
Like
were
they
good.
lost, but they
No,
lost.
they were good. They
but
lost,
they
but
lost.
they killed him. He went back. They almost killed him. He said, "You should have gone for the head." They were good.
Fair. But
But then
I
he
like
wound back time.
this. I like this pick. I like this pick because they're not a good team. They need to get in the lab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
TMT, we're gonna end these episodes by asking our guests on a scale of 1 to 10. Give me your number first, and then you can talk about it later. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hopeful are you for Doomsday?
Listen, now.
Just give me the number. Everyone, give me the number.
Let him cook.
No, give me the number and then cook.
Five.
5. That's fair. That's quite literally fair. Okay, what
Only
are you going to say?
because
Yeah.
the Russo brothers didn't like make their biggest check ever, then disappear into some like monastery to like get better at directing. They made let's list the movies they made.
Gray Man.
Gray Man.
Great Man,
Cherry. Then the one with Millie Bobby Brown.
Cherry.
Electric State.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
They
that
made-
was them too.
They made
Oh
those
my
3.
god.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Two were Netflix.
asshole, booty hole, butt hole. Not a single.
To be fair,
good
the only one
hole.
I've seen is Green Man. I didn't see the other
Cherry's
two.
not that bad, okay? Like
Yeah, I've heard
Cherry's-
that.
Cherry's
Yeah.
not the worst of them all, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's not, and it's just who's writing it again? Is it them?
No, one of Marcus McFeely, one of them.
Okay, I think I Wikipedia the
And
writing
I think Michael
team
Waldron.
yeah, it's a good team. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think also I'm excited as well because like I very much divested from these movies in a way that makes me appreciate them more. So it's like, I guess we'll see. Like I just like now I'll watch a good movie and I'll be like, holy shit, I can't believe I was paying to see Iron Man 2. But I'm also
Yeah, but then
also
you
at the
watch
same
them-
time hold on. But also at the same time, I'm acknowledging that Iron Man 1 is one of the greatest movies ever. Not superhero, just straight up movies. That movie is amazing. You know what I mean? You know, it's a beautiful time. Like now I just see them as movies and I can enjoy them as standalone films. And the front, yeah. So it's just it's a thing where it's like, you know, I hope they don't strike out. I hope they, you know, do a good job and they hit a home run. But if they don't, I won't be upset. You know, I'm happy. I'm like, life goes on. You know, I'll watch The Materialist too.
All I'm thinking about is that you think Materialist is a good film, so that's a win for me. I'm happy about that. Yeah, no, I think 5 is good. I do think a lot of our guests are gonna range around that kind of like 5 to 8. 8 at best kind of range. Like I said in our preview for this thing, the most hopeful MCU fan is still at best cautiously optimistic about this film because just like we are scared, but hopefully it's like on one hand the Russo's last 3 films have been what they are. On the other hand, they've created some of the best MCU films ever made. So it's kind of like which one is going to win out?
It's like the other day I was talking to some guy about the James Gunn films, and this other guy joins the conversation, and he's like, "Yeah, man, but I'm really excited about the thing because you know me, I'm a Marvel guy, I'm a diehard Marvel guy." I'm like, "Brother, you are 34. Stop saying you're a Marvel guy. Just enjoy these movies, like really enjoy them, but understand that like Marvel is Disney shareholder stock, you know, stock portfolio management. Like, don't say you're a Marvel guy. Just say there's good. in there.
TMT,
But
That's your
TMT,
soundbite. That's your soundbite.
That's all
That's
good,
it.
but unfortunately, I'm cutting that out because we need
That's-
Marvel
no,
guys.
that's your
Marvel
soundbite.
guys,
That
Marvel
is your
guys buy
soundbite.
sneakers.
No,
Marvel,
we do
Marvel guys
that.
buy sneakers too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's your soundbite. Come on.
I'm
Marvel,
Come
sorry.
on.
Well, look, Steve, unfortunately, unlike on your podcast, The Cinema House, we here have no shame and we are trying to get as many listeners as possible. So we may
Crazy.
cut that out.
Crazy.
But no, thank you very much, TMT. Steve and Ebuka, as always, thank you. If you are still listening so far and you want more of Steve's takes, please check him out on The Cinephile Owl, a podcast that can be found on all platforms and also all social media. TMT, thank you very much. Guys, it's the start of the year. We have 11 of these to come, hopefully. And we have so much covering on the podcast right now. Later this month, we start our coverage of Industry and Metal 7 Kingdoms. So please check all of that out. Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.
Let me tell you something about Bucky. That boy was born in 1901 or some shit. That man don't give no goddamn fuck about your HR, office politics, woke, left, liberal shit. Don't tell me.
Cut the
No.
cameras.
I'm not pumped.
Cut the fucking cameras.
Because he has a 5 o'clock shadow and long hair. You think it's some hipster in Bushwick that knows what's going on in the world.
Easy.
Leave Bucky alone.
Oh my god.